It's Wednesday. There are 9 games on. We're previewing them. It's an NBA Cup day. It's the day before Thanksgiving. It's one of the best days of the year for Michael Bolton.
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy, your daily NBA fantasy podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd, and my second job is naming hurricanes. I'm also the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com, and today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Thank you also for making Locked On Fantasy Basketball your first listen every day. We're free, we're available on all platforms, and we are part of the number one sports podcast network, the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making it that way. Thank you for pushing us there. Thank you for getting me ever so close. Not quite, but we're maybe 100k subs. We want it, I want it, you want it, let's get it. Hopefully sub, bang, comment. Wednesday. We're looking ahead. There are 9 games on, which is absolutely brilliant, and I'll tell you why. Because normally, the day before Thanksgiving, the NBA decides, all right, let's have every team play. Nah, you jokers, we're not doing that. Lovely. Only 9 instead of 15. Fantastic day. So, let's talk about it. It is a streaming day. 9 is absolutely a possible streaming day, unless your roster is weirdly constructed. Go look at your teams. I'm certain you will not have to make a start-sit decision, and you will probably have an open roster spot, an open active slot to add somebody in. Of course, the day after this, there are no games on, because it is Thanksgiving. And no, we don't celebrate Thanksgiving here again, because I will get that question at least 30 times over the next couple of days. Just, again, so you're aware, we do not celebrate Thanksgiving here. Should we talk about what games are actually on? That would be, I think, a pretty good idea. Let's take a look at how the schedule looks on these 9 games. We've got early start, though. That's it. What? Why is that? Someone explain this to me. I know you're going to say day before Thanksgiving. 5 p.m. is the first game. All right? 5 p.m. Didn't think we'd be talking about a 5 p.m. game, but there it is. Boston hosting the Pistons, 5 p.m. Then we've got Knicks-Hornets, Wolves, Thunder, Bucks, Heat, Pacers, Raptors, Grizzlies, Pelicans, Spurs, Blazers, Suns, Kings, and the final game is Rockets, Warriors. We've got 3 games at that 7 p.m. Pacific time, which is the Spurs game, the Suns game, the Rockets game. Big gap in between the Memphis and Pelicans game until those games. So again, weird schedule, but a weird early game. So lineups got to be set early. We're going to go early on this. Remember that. It is important. Let's look at each game individually. We did get the word, and it's good that we got this word now, but Neemias Queta, the Pastel de Nata, is out for Boston. Last game, they started Josh Minott at center. Now, I don't know that starting Josh Minott against Jalen Duren is going to go particularly well. Sneaky and Joe Mazzulla, though, could do a million things. I don't think Chris Boucher will go well because Chris Boucher is bad. Luka Garza, don't be shocked if it's Xavier Tillman. It could be Boucher or it could be Minott. So, is there like a clear must-roster streamer guy out of that spot? I actually don't think so. Because it's look, one could develop. I just have no idea which way it's going to lean. Therefore, I'm not going to say all eggs Garza, lean into Minott. Because I think it's going to be just mix and match stuff. Not much otherwise injury style in that one. Knicks and Hornets is your next one. We know that OG is going to be out, and good news is that Brandon Miller and Lamelo Ball are off the injury report. We expected that. They set the last game due to a back-to-back, but the other thing that is important is that the big Colk, Ryan Colkbrenner, for all of you Colk heads out there ready to celebrate Thanksgiving, Ryan is back. Mitchell Robinson also back after he sat the last game on a back-to-back. We're not surprised about that. Next one, Timberwolves and Thunder. We are not expecting the Bronco Jalen Williams to play. Aaron Wiggins, I'm listing him questionable. He's been out for like 2.5 weeks. The Thunder give no updates. I think they listed a groin strain, just nothing. Really, really annoying. And they are notoriously, not injury reporting, just they keep everything unbelievably close to the vest. That is the tightest ship in the NBA, the Thunder. You will never hear anything out of that organization. So this shouldn't be a surprise, but they tell you nothing about anything ever. So I don't know. I'm just not expecting Jalen to play at this point. And Wiggins, I don't know, very much up in the air. The next one. Now, I did list the big fella, Giannis Antetokounmpo, as out, but he's not. They have upgraded him to questionable, which, I don't know, coming off a groin strain seems incredibly early. That's never gone wrong for any player ever. So I'm sure it's totally okay. As well as being totally okay for the fact that Norman Powell is probable, coming off his own groin strain. We got idiots here. What's going on? What is happening? We are going to get, obviously Porter's out, but we are going to get some really interesting scenarios in Miami. Jaime Jaquez Jr. is questionable. Nikola Jovic is questionable. Drew Smith is questionable. Andrew Wiggins is questionable. Norman Powell is probable. What is going to happen if Powell, Wiggins, Jaquez, Jovic play? How again, I would beg you guys to play the 240 game with Miami. Because I'll have someone in my ear tell me, you're way too low on Davion Mitchell. All right. No way you think Jaime Jaquez is playing that few minutes. Okay. Definitely Ware is playing big minutes. All right. Play the 240 game. Figure it out. It's impossible. You will be like, oh, okay. What do we do here? Oh, you should talk about Pele Larson more. He should play more. All right, cool. It's impossible. Obviously, if Yanni does play, which would be bad, you would lose value on Kuzma, you would lose value on Rollins, you would lose value on Portis. But for now, I would hope that Giannis doesn't play. The next game is the Pacers and the Raptors. We know that Dildo Johnny Furphy is out, Rowan Barrett is out, Cam Jones is out. And yeah, there's not much more to talk about there. We saw Gary Trent the third. Jacoby Walsh was started in place of Barrett. I think that'll happen again. Grizzlies and New Orleans in this next game. Zach Edey is officially questionable with whatever head injury he suffered yesterday. So that's good that he's only questionable. Jordan Poole will be out. Demetrius Morant will be out. Carlo Makovic is out. And Herbalife Jones, they're all out. The question is going to be Edey. And if Edey is out, Jock Landau becomes the option. He won't be, most likely, as good as yesterday. But he's an option. And then we've got to see what on earth the Pelicans do with the Misi/Derek Yas Queen situation. Because it was very weird yesterday. And I'd be very shocked if we get Misi playing those minutes over Queen in this game. But we've got to watch it. We've got to see exactly what they do. The next one is the Spurs and the Blazers. No Wemby, no Castle. We know that much. Honestly, I don't expect Shaedon Sharpe to play, so I've listed him as doubtful. But he could. But he's dealing with what they're calling a calf strain, which is usually it should be 2 weeks minimum, maybe up to 20 days. But I don't know, because they're not ruling him out of any time frame. So I am putting Shaedon at this point as doubtful. Drew is also out for the Blazers. The next game we look at is Phoenix and Sacramento. Mark Williams should be available. He missed the last game back-to-back. But Ryan Dunn and Grayson Allen are the two big questions. If they both play, that hurts Collin Gillespie, it hurts Jordan Goodwin. If they're both out, it bumps both of those players. And then, of course, you've got all-star legend Dylan Brooks, who's cooking continually. The last game is Rockets-Warriors. And I know that people have been suggesting that Kevin Durant's personal issue is he didn't want to go back to Phoenix or he didn't want to go back to Golden State to play. That's just pure garbage. But he is missing these 2 games against his former team. So he's missing out on huge performances in revenge games. He's out. Horford's out. I believe Kuminga will be out. Melton will be out. Jayshawn Tate, not sure it really matters that much, but Draymond Green does. He missed the last game. I don't think it's anything significant for Draymond. But with him out, you saw big minutes from Gaz Payton. You saw more from Quinton Post, who would become stream options if Draymond is unavailable. Which, of course, at this point, once again, we don't know. We'll come back and talk schedule hacks. We'll come back and talk streaming options. Today's episode, though, it is brought to you by Game Time. With the NBA season officially here, and almost 6 weeks in, nothing beats being there live, watching the games. But getting tickets, it's a pain. It's a headache. It's frustrating. It's annoying. You go in there, you get your ticket, you go, all right, let's go. And then there's a queue. You go, where's the queue? What's going on? And then you go to buy a ticket, and then you see they've slapped extra fees on. You go 10% for this, 2% for this, 3.2% for that. Why? What are you doing? Just tell me the full price. Well, on Game Time, they will. Game Time is the app that gives you the advantage, the ultimate life hack for scoring amazing NBA tickets fast, easy, and stress-free. Not only do you see the full price right there on the ticket, but you don't have to worry about those queues. You don't have to worry about getting the bargains. Plus, the zone deals are a game changer as well. You just pick an area that you want to sit. Game Time picks the cheapest and best option for you. So take the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. The code is LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. We're previewing the action for Wednesday. There are 9 games in the NBA. So now what we're going to do is just take a bit of a look, a bit of a squiz at how the schedule plays out. We know there are no back-to-backs. We know that. There are no back-to-backs because Thursday is a 0-game day. And normally we'd look at that and go, well, let's talk about pseudo back-to-backs. Who can we add Wednesday that also plays Friday? But Friday is an 11-game day. So even if you add a fringe player, would you even start them on Friday? Probably not. So we're not going to worry about that. We just want to hit somebody for Wednesday. And then we can use Thursday and Friday to sort of assess our team, make other moves for Saturday, Sunday. What about chunks, though? The next 5 NBA game days. All of these players play on teams where they have 3 quality games, meaning they miss Friday. They exclude Friday. Collin Gillespie. Gillespie's value will drop when Allen and Dunn play. That has been shown to us. It'll drop further when Jalen Green eventually is back. But for now, I don't know that they're out. Allen and Dunn. But also, you've got the schedule advantage. Now, there's an easy way to phrase this. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the right word is. But it's when you're talking about guys where you go, I don't know, maybe someone comes back and they lose their value. When you get the plus schedule spot, the schedule plus advantage, 3 games, 5 nights, that can be minimized. If you're uncertain about adding a player, I don't know what the role's going to be, when you've got the schedule advantage, it's useful. And that's where we're at with Collin Gillespie. That's where we're at with Isaiah Jackson, who, he's bad. He's simply bad. But 3 games in 5 nights. Maybe you get one of those good ones. Same with James Huff, who is actually putting up really good numbers. He's blocking 2 shots almost every game. But he might play 15 minutes. He might play 25. He might hit 2 threes. He might be useless. But the game's played advantage. Sasha's brother, Jeremiah Fierce, is in that mix as well. The Pelicans have got 3 quality games over those next 5 game days. Yeah, he was benched last game for Jose Alvarado, but I don't know that that's going to be the regular occurrence. In fact, I think it won't be. And then even though Colin Sexton will be a bench player for most of this time, although I believe there is a back-to-back coming up for the Hornets, so Ball probably sits one and Sexton gets a start. And you're at least going to get a nice scoring bump from Colin there. That is what he does. Should we look at 5s and 2s? What do I mean by that? Well, if you're new to the show, welcome. Good to have you guys here. Hit subscribe. You know how it goes. It's just like over the next 7 days, does anyone have a 2-game week, which we hate if it starts on a Monday? Or does anyone have a big, robust, burly 5-game week, which we love if they start on a Monday, but we ignore them during the week? No one's got the 5, but the Orlando Magic have 2. Now, we know during week 6, the Magic had a 2-game week, but this just keeps extending out. So from Wednesday through to Tuesday, your Magic played 2 games. It's why you don't bother holding on to Tristan da Silva. That's why Mr. Black becomes very fringy. I would hold Wendell, but Goga Badadze? No point. Jet Howard went off last game? Absolutely fake, and no point because they don't play. It really does come down for the majority of you. Do you hold Black or do you hold the Silver? And the answer in standard 150 deep leagues is no, you don't. But this is a very lean part of the schedule. It's great if you've got Paolo Banchero because it does mean it gives Paolo more time to recover without missing many games. We love that little part of it, but that's about it. We should, at this point, talk streams of the day. Go. Who are my best options across different league sizes using those cutoffs that I've heavily researched, which could be completely wrong. Let's start with a 10-team stream guy, Moses Moody. Now, is Moses Moody a great must-roster player? No, he's not. But in terms of a guy that's available, who is starting for the foreseeable future, and can occasionally pop off, you'd like to do that. Mitchell Robinson will be back, and he doesn't do a huge amount, but he rebounds. He might block 2 shots. He might get you 3 or 4 shooting for 75%. And he should play over 20 minutes. So that's a nice 12-team stream. I've got Gaz Trent there as a 14-team streamer. If Yanni does play, I'm less interested in Gazza there. But he can always hit 4 threes. And he should get at least mid-20s minutes. And then for deep leagues, Geordie Walsh. I expect that he starts. Cater being out probably helps his rebounding. And he's always got the chance to get 2 steals, a block, 7 boards, 3 assists. 1 point. But he can do those other things. For Yahoo Points Leagues, these are all 70% plus available. It is Jeremiah Fierce, who's down to 29%, and I understand that. But it is a really strong schedule spot here for the Pelicans. With Poole out, there is an advantage there for him. He's not taking it, but I like it. And then for ESPN, again, 70% available, Collin Gillespie. He's there, roster him, hold him, use him, stick with him until it becomes apparent that it's not working, which will happen at some point in the future. But for now, we're good. We're good. We are going to come back and we're going to talk about more streams. 10s, 12s, Deepers, Yahoo points, ESPN points. Today's episode, though, it's brought to you by the tongue-twisting legends over at Drip Drop. When I am hydrated and my tongue is twisted, not when my tongue is twisted. If I want to untwist my tongue, but stay hydrated, I know that everything works better. My memory, my focus, my ability to put together a coherent sentence, it's all much better when I am hydrated. That's why I use Drip Drop. Doctor-developed hydration that keeps me running at full power no matter what the day looks like. Drip Drop isn't like your average sports drink though. 3 times the electrolytes and half of the sugar of leading brands using a science-backed formula which is trusted by medical professionals, over 90% of top collagen pro teams, and of course that important demographic of firefighters, which they need hydration because, they're working with flames and stuff. Drip Drop is a part of my daily routine. I think you should make it part of yours because, again, you realize, I drink water. You hear that, right? Water's good. Yeah, I love it. Water, what a legendary product that is. But adding the electrolytes, adding the actual hydration, you will not understand the difference. Hospitals, and I have a medical background, right? I know the importance of hydration and the change in a person once they get those electrolytes back in. It's why hospitals, that's a first-line treatment for so many different diseases. And you don't even have a disease. Maybe you do. Your business, not mine. But you can get hydration with Drip Drop. Right now, Drip Drop is offering podcast listeners 20% off your first order. Go to dripdrop.com. Use the promo code LOCKEDONNBA. That is dripdrop.com. The promo code is LOCKEDONNBA for 20% off. Stock up now before the rush is on. And keep your body and mind performing at their best with Drip Drop. Let's drip drop our way into talking about more streaming options. Some 10-teamers and 12-teamers and deeper streaming guys. 10-team guys. These are all using Basketball Monster's advanced roster percentage metric, 40% available. Moses Moody. Malik Monk. I have no idea what to make of Sacramento. I know everyone's very excited about what Keegan Murray did yesterday, rightfully so. I still have no idea because, is Zach LaVine actually going to be that uninvolved? What happens with Monk and Schroeder and Westbrook and LaVine and DeRozan? I feel like it's just going to be one of those up and down things all the time. But Monk at the moment is slightly up. And he's been dropped, understandably so. Stream him in. Mitchie Robinson is on the list. Julian Champagny in San Antonio has played 30 minutes each of the last 2 games, and Harper and Castle aren't coming back. Well, not for this one anyway. And then Isaiah Jackson, which I reluctantly put on there. But he is playing 24 minutes. It's like there is a double-double with 2 blocks potential. There's also 4 and 1 in 16 minutes. He is the gift that just keeps refusing to give. 12-team leagues. Look at the first 5. These are all at least 60% available using advanced roster percentage numbers. Cam Spencer is playing really well. His minutes are up. He's playing behind Vince Williams, but he plays alongside Vince Williams. He's a good shooter. He's a solid passer. And yeah, they just signed Kobe Buffkin to a 10-day hardship extension contract, but Spencer's outplaying him. Spencer's been really good, and I think he's a really solid stream guy here. Steve Adams probably comes off the bench, I'm guessing, but they could also go very hard into the big men situation against the Warriors because the Warriors don't have those bigs, and Adams provides numbers. Jordy Walsh is there, Alex Caruso is there, and the depressed penis, Sadiq Bey, is also on that list. Different options, obviously. Bey, better scorer, hits some threes with rebounds. Caruso, steals and assists. Walsh, steals, blocks, rebounds. Just different types of players, providing different types of stats for different types of situations. And we embrace all differences. In fact, we celebrate our differences over here. Deeper leagues. These are all available in 88% or more of leagues using my Basketball Monster advanced roster numbers. I hate seeing it, but Ben Shepherd is on the list. Rob Williams blocked 4 shots last game and he's playing well. The big sneeze, Precious Achiuwa, played 34 minutes last game. I don't know that he starts. I don't know that he plays 34 minutes for the Kings in the next one. But Eubanks is bad. Maxime Renault could be good, but he's still a rookie. Achiuwa is also bad. So, bad versus bad? You never know. I was doing the 6-7 without even saying it. Jalen Wells was really good last game, but what I'm more encouraged by for him, not adding him in most spots, but he's played 30 minutes each of the last 2 games. So, Wellesley with the increased opportunity, we look to that. And then, again, he started in the last game, Juice McBride. There's no Landry Shamet. There's no OG Anunoby. Maybe it's Hart that sticks. Maybe it's McBride. Maybe it's Clarkson. I don't know. I don't feel super good about Juice, but I do think he starts, and there is some value in trying that out, seeing where you go. 4 points leagues. We'll start with the Yahoo points scoring system. These guys are all at least 70% available on Yahoo. Jeremiah Fierce, The Horse, Keldon Johnson, Vincent Williams Jr., Collin Gillespie, and of course Sadiq Bey, the depressed penis. And lastly for ESPN, all 70% available over there as well. Oh, they're actually all gone in my league. Sick. Great. Collin Gillespie, Luke Cornett, Keldon Johnson, Vincent Williams, and Moses Moody is your last name on that list. And that is the last you're going to hear from me from this Daily Look Ahead show. We'll be back to recap Tuesday's 3-game barn blower. Yeah, I said it. Thumb up the video, double bang, subscribe on audio and on video. Just make sure you listen to the audio. I know people say it all the time, but audio, for some reason, it helps me more in terms of advertising. They like those numbers more, and it gives me better opportunity to buy flights to Turkey to get my hair implants, which I didn't do. But if I did, audio listening would get me there. Guys, we are done here. I don't know why I'm being so unhinged. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya. Oh my god, you're so wacky.